Alright, we're there.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to pop up on my screen.
Always bothersome when that happens.
Yeah, it takes a while too to pop up on the screen for me.
Alright. I'm glad it happened then, and then not like 10 minutes into it, so it's all good, right?
That's not it. Okay.
Yeah, it's not it. It'll come up though. Wait till everybody logs in. If they find it. It takes a minute. We'll get there though.
Okay.
Gotta love this internet here. Actually, I think a lot of times it's just my phone. That's my phone that does it, and it's not the newest phone. So don't shoot us on that one. So I had to restart it. But let's see what happens.
There it is.
There you go.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Mundo. Now works. Thiem, Lars, Jean, Victor. Alrighty.
All right. So sorry about that. Again, we don't have the most distinguished setup. It's my phone, and then we live in an area where the internet's not that great. So sorry about that. But I'm glad it happened now and not a little bit later.
Absolutely.
All right. So again, hello everyone, and welcome to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Saturday the 12th, 2020, and we are going to start today with kind of a segment that's really important to the both of us, and it involves all of you. For the past couple of years that we have done this show, and I think it's been about 2 years now, a lot of you have been kind of household names in our home, and we are always communicating with you pretty much every day. So I wanted to take a minute and give some shout outs to multiple people. If I missed anybody, again, totally sorry. I was riding with my broken arm, and Carla was teaching, and it began to get sore on me, so I kind of had to stop. But nonetheless, I hope I don't miss anyone. So we ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So number one, first and foremost, I want to give a personal shout out to Michael Walker and BDog02. You guys are always active in our households, whether it's tennis on, tennis off. You're always with us. So much love to you guys. You're like brothers, and I mean that. So thanks to you guys. Number two, Ivor Savage, who's a personal friend, very close friend. He is from South Africa, where Gene Swart is, and also owns Y-Tech Strings, who gives us all the equipment and gear to give away for the fantasy team prize giveaways. I will do a fantasy team update at the end of this show. We've never had a more competitive fantasy team competition. Usually there is a winner by now, or at least two winners, and we still have 5 involved that are all neck and neck. So thank you to Ivor Savage for the gentleman that's behind giving all the stuff out, a wonderful coach and a wonderful person. Number 2, I want to give a shout out to Cam Williams for going through adversity yesterday and finding a way to get positive and to dig in the trenches and find a way to get back in the thick of it. We like you a lot. We really enjoy what you do, and thank you for being a fan. So much love to you. Number 3, Wainam Chia. Wainam Chia is always out there. Wainam Chia is a wonderful guy. He's in Singapore, by the way, and is always on, whether it's Messenger or with Carla on the phone, whatever. He is a big part of what we do. Number 4, Amor Opan. You'll see her name as Flor Amor. She is in the Philippines. She is involved with the judicial system. The judicial system. The judicial. The judicial system there. And she always helps us out with information. I was on the phone with her, or at least on Facebook Messenger. The Facebook Messenger with her this morning. That was kind of hard for me to get off my tongue. This morning, so thank you very much, Flora Moore, for everything. You're really wonderful to talk to, and I told you I would give you a shout out, and there it is. So thank you so much for being part of this. Number 4, Sanissa M. Sanissa M also spoke to me this morning, another wonderful person. So we wanted to give you a shout out. We are going to read one of your comments today and potentially talk about it as a topic. So much love to you. Ethan D.A., another household name that always stays in touch with us, sending us information. I know you sent us a podcast today, but we could not open it without subscribing to some type of app. And it was like $5 just to listen to the thing or something. But we didn't do that. But I think you may have sent something to Carla, so she knew the gist of it anyway.
Yeah, and I'll read your text message. I definitely understood it by the text. Someone asked me how come I'm so muscular. How are you so muscular? I was born that way. My father's very muscular. My grandfather's very muscular. When I was a little girl, I was embarrassed by it because people would call me Diesel. I'd have very strong legs, strong arms. Didn't really have to work for it like Serena, but I keep up with it now because I'm older.
Homegirl's jacked up.
Yeah, I would be embarrassed. I'd hide my legs. So stupid, really.
All right, number 6, Novak Djokovic. Surely that's, or I'm assuming it's a screen name, but he is always in touch, always making contact, always has great takes. So thank you very much. Carterry, what's up, Carterry? From my hometown, Southern California. So really nice that you're always involved. Yin Hao Kaur, always checking in and sharing his passion for the game. Sister to Queen, always keeping me company. My beautiful, poetic, lovely lady herself. Much love to Sister to Queen. NY Producer with always great takes. He has a short, concise point about Serena Williams, and we're going to read that today. We're going to talk about that. We've been talking about Serena for the past couple of shows, so we will talk about that once again. My man, Gene Swart in South Africa, a great young man, a good human being who writes and performs way more maturely than his young age. I think he's 18. So thank you, Gene Swart, for everything. We love you a lot. Furzio9, V Savage, David Vulick, who always tell it like it is and just get to the point. Much love, you guys. All the Serbian viewers who have gone through hell on earth, survived bombing campaigns and trained in bombed-out swimming pools, who comprise nearly 10% of our overall viewers. It's actually, right before the show, is 8.6%. That's nearly 10%. Only 31.5% of our viewers are from the U.S., which tells you a lot about how popular tennis is in the United States. So much love to all of you in Serbia, and stay in the trenches, stay strong, because you've been through hell and back. Number 14, Jack Nolte, for all his great information, and continuously comes in and congratulates us for good shows. And as well, we congratulate you again for getting your business degree. So thank you very much, Jack Nolte. Alex QER for his loyalty and not being scared to have open debates with us and just telling it like it is, speaks freely. So we like that a lot. Dushan Dramakanine, one of the OG viewers out there, along with Dark Knight, for being soldiers of the same struggle. Stay in the trenches, stay strong. Love you guys a lot. Simone Simonovic for being battle-tested and always shows up to fight. Another OG viewer. Dwayne Bentley, shout out to you. I know we got into a debate yesterday. I love to talk smack, but hey, that's just the way we roll.
Dwayne Bentley had earwax in his ears. He wasn't listening to our show correctly.
Oh.
Because I said Serena had weak semifinalists, and I went back and listened to the show purposely because of you. And actually, I said that about Brady, so he wasn't listening.
A big shout out to a new viewer, Aida Rios from Mexico. Much love, amigo. Carl, you want to welcome him in Spanish or talk some smack in Spanish?
Aida Rios. Hola, Aida Rios, ¿cómo estás? México, gracias por la invitación. A ver si tenemos una oportunidad de ir a México. No sé.
Let's go.
Yo sé que el tenis es mucho mejor que aquí en los Estados Unidos.
There you go. Yemi Lade, my brother, always keeping it real, along with Maj Ezaruli. Much love, you guys. Rodrigo Freitas for always showing us love day in and day out. Stay true. Alyssa Hofelt for joining in and giving her takes, having been especially a player in her own right. So much love to you, Alyssa. Igor Lucena, Dande Ralick, Richard Sylvester, Lex Coe, Bill Clarity, Dia J. Kumar, Olabampe, Oladuran, and so many more. Much love to all of you guys. Thanks for understanding that we struggle just like all of you. And what you see here is what you get. This is the real Carla and I. There is no bots that ask for you to be here. There is no begging for you to subscribe. You guys have done it on your own, and we have just basically done what we do every day. So what you see is what you get, and that's just it. If we turned it off, you walked in the front door, you'd get the same shit, just on a different day. So much love to you. Without you, we don't exist.
Michael Walker, you and I chat a lot. I'm sorry I couldn't chat with you last night. I didn't feel good. I get vertigo a lot.
Is Mike on?
Yeah, I get a lot of vertigo. I told B-Dog I can't chat either. He was asking how I was this morning. I just started feeling really bad, and sometimes I get some really bad episodes of vertigo. So he knows I could not watch the whole Thiem Medvedev match. I had to lay down. It was just I felt like I was getting one of those attacks again.
Yeah, much love to you, Mike. I was chatting with you last night on Cam Williams' stream. I enjoyed it. Brought back some boyhood memories from me and my upbringing in the early or the late 70s and 80s. as a young tennis player and watching my dad play and coach. He was a coach and player as well. So it was nice to talk about some old school, old generation type tennis players. So much love to you, bro.
Rahesh too. You got to thank
Rahesh
Rahesh
Kumar.
and Wildlife One, who's always messaging
Wildlife
me.
One, yep.
I think you already thanked Ethan. Ethan is also always.
Yeah, I did Ethan at the beginning.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump in right into the first topic. And we're going to start with Sanissa M's comment. Actually, she had two of them. So, Carla, if you can read both of those comments, they both pertain to the Serena Williams discussion. But she had two really concise and really straightforward comments. I need to go get my pen so I can jot down so I don't have to interrupt. But read her comments, and then we'll discuss them, all right?
Okay, looking for her comments. Here we go. Sanissa. Okay, here you go. Sanissa M says, nice to see championships, but to compete is hurting in a way. It's marginalized. The fact is, if Serena gets somehow 24 Grand Slams, she would still be in contention with Graf or Navratilova for the GOAT. You really think so? And the other comment was, GOAT women's tennis. Graf, Serena, Navratilova, Court, Moody. How can you say who is the best ever? Historic number one. Number of titles, number of weeks at number ones, number of Grand Slams calendars or non-calendar Grand Slams, Golden Slams. Okay. All right, comment.
All right. Agree or disagree? I totally agree with that. In terms of all these players, we've talked about it before. Steffi Graf, in my opinion, is, if not the greatest of all time, not because of slam count, but just her overall package, her demeanor on the court. I don't recall, and I may be wrong, Michael Walker might be able to answer this better than I, but I don't recall any, tirades on court. Am I wrong about that? Do you recall any?
For Steffi Graf?
For Graf?
Never. She had the greatest conduct I can think of. But also, I disagree with her comment just because I feel like if Monica Seles would have not been stabbed on the back, Monica Seles would have taken away a lot of those Grand Slams that she won. She dominated tennis right before Monica Seles came to the scene, and then after Monica Seles left and she dominated again. Some of her finals were like 6-0, 6-1. It wasn't very competitive for her. Monica Seles was definitely a factor in that. I feel like Serena has beaten Graf, has beaten many of those players, went through Hingis, went through Capriati, went through Kleisters, went through Hennins, went through Sharapovas, went through Azarenkas, went through Maresmos, went through her sister, went through the younger ones. So I don't think that we can say that. I think she's the GOAT for sure. To me, she's the GOAT.
Speaking of Amelie Mauresmo, you have her racket that she signed for you on the wall. So I don't know if you can see it doubtfully, but Amelie Mauresmo's actual racket is hanging on the wall behind me.
Yeah, I won in an auction, but I don't think, Graf was great. Yes, one of the best ever. To me, she's right behind Serena Williams. I love Graf. That was my idol. When I played tennis, I wanted to be just like her. I wanted to act just like her. I love her attitude on the court. She never showed you whether she was feeling bad or feeling good. She just didn't show emotion. But I think Serena's competition was way, way tougher.
Agree. And it's really hard, as Sanissa indicated. You compare people across generations. It's really tough to do so. The record, again, that Serena has to chase is preposterous.
What's up, Tennis Paris brothers?
What's going on, guys? But she definitely, if Steffi Graf in her prime faced Serena in her prime, let's be real, who wins that match? Serena wins the
Obviously.
match.
Just the power, the sheer power, the serve. The lady was fit. Serena, when she came out, there's no player. I've never seen a player like her so fit except Martina Navratilova. When Martina Navratilova came out, in the 70s, in the 80s, no one had seen a type of player like that. That's why they assumed right away. No one. Billie Jean King was strong, but then came Martina, and she was built like a gymnast.
Beast.
She was a beast, and she was a beast in her time. She would have been the GOAT before Steffi Graf came out.
What year was the Steffi Graf Martina Navratilova final? Where it was a 3-setter. I think Navratilova won the first set in a tight one, and then Graf steamrolled the second two. Do you remember what year that was? Was it 88 or 89?
I don't.
Do you recall?
You mean when she had the Golden Slam?
I don't recall.
She had a Golden Slam and she won the Olympics.
Yeah.
Gold. No one's ever done that. But again, here we go. When she started meeting Martina, Everett, and all these players, they were pretty much going to the end of their career when she met him. And then there was no one that could touch her until Monica Seles. Sabatini would always lose to her and choke. Mary Jo Fernandez? Ugh.
She's a pretty good
Natasha Zverev, Natasha Sareva was a great doubles player who played with Gigi Fernandez, but any time that she went to a final against Steffi Graf, never did good. She would get bagel. I mean, the match would be done in 40 minutes.
Exactly.
Arantxa Sanchez on clay.
Sanchez was a beast too, though.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sanchez a lot. All right. Real quickly, if you can find NY Producer's comment, and it still ties into the same subject, but let's read that one if you can find it. That had to do with what he would do if he was Serena's coach at this point.
I like what Wildlife said. Like Justin said, comparing generations is so difficult.
It is. I think there's the greatest player of every generation, and not necessarily the greatest of all time. If you're pound for pound though, and you could get each player in their prime to have everyone play one another, Serena does win that. Yeah. I mean, I think that's hands down. I don't think that's debatable. But in the history books, it doesn't really go that way amongst people that aren't hardcore, followers or fans that follow the game their entire lives or were born into it, etc. But if Serena plays in her prime, every other player in their prime, Serena wins that match. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. And like I said again, and I'll say it again, Serena played different type of players. She proved it. She played against Graf. She played against all these players. Capriati, gone. Hingis, gone. I mean, she played against all of them. Clijsters, gone. All of them. Venus Williams. The list goes on. I mean, she made a few people retire. Hingis definitely retired because of the sisters. Absolutely. She felt the pressure, the power. I mean, Capriati she could hang, but she couldn't beat them all the time.
Agreed. So as we further this, NY Producer wrote a concise, just a quick statement of what he would do if he was the coach of Serena moving forward. So let's read that real quick.
If I'm Serena's coach, first order of business is for her to lose 20 pounds. She's carrying too much weight. She's inflamed and in pain. She can't win a major carrying that weight. She'll get outmaneuvered by more fit competition. Well said. We've said it a million times. It's like me trying to go compete against these young girls. I would have to shed 20 pounds myself. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and the truth is just the truth. Reality is reality. I had the same type of argument with a lot of people when Roger Federer, just never could seem to win that next major. And, everybody under the sun was like, you're not a Roger Federer fan. I mean, I've said this before. I have a Roger Federer tattoo on my back, a rather large one. It's not that I'm not a fan. It's just that I'm a realist. Are we lagging?
No, we're fine. It was lagging.
So I'm a realist. When you become a certain age, and there's people half of your age playing, and people that are half of your age that are excelling and playing very well, and maybe not quite half your age, but close to it, Father Time waits for no man or no woman, and especially when you're carrying around a little bit of extra weight. Is Serena super fat? Absolutely not. But when you have not a lot of the big players, or not a lot, you don't have the Haleps, the Svitolinas, the Andreescus, and so forth playing, you're still having trouble moving through the draw. What does that tell you? Now, granted, Serena is still the top four players in the world, obviously, because she's made countless Grand Slam finals, just hasn't been able to close the door.
Right, because the fitness comes into place. What does that tell you? Here's this lady about to be 39 years old and still playing tennis, where Steffi Graf had already retired from tennis. Just saying.
Yeah, so it's not a matter of not being a fan. It's just as from a coaching perspective. And mind you, Carl and I have coached for 20 years, 22 years. We were born into the game. We played at the game at the highest level. She played Challengers Pros. I didn't go that far. College for me was the end, and I got into coaching. And my dad had me starting to coach as a 16, 17-year-old boy and stringing rackets. So it's not like we're hating on them. It's just a matter of reality.
It is reality. I disagree with you, Carteri. You said Serena looks bigger than Clijsters. Serena has muscles. That is the reason she looks bigger to you. If you look at Clijsters, she's soft. She's got a mama's body. There is no muscle there. That's why she wears the long sleeve shirt, the long shirt to cover her big stomach. The legs are very soft, not the way they used to be. And Serena has like my body build. We can lift weights and stuff like that. We look very muscular, but we still got to slim down. We got to trim down. She's not as light as she was. She could trim down 20 pounds, but she's very muscular. Those muscles are big. I mean, and don't laugh, and I'm not trying to be bad on her, but just her boobs enough is a lot of weight on her. I mean, she's got a body. That's a lot of weight to carry.
Kim Clijsters too, by the way. Didn't she come out of motherhood already one time?
Yeah, she's been a mom of 3.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So the difference here is, and yesterday I was talking to a viewer, Dwayne Bentley. Much respect to you. We had a debate, and he made a point that Clijsters had already come out of motherhood and done very well so Serena can do the same. Clijsters at that point in time was younger though by a far, right? I mean, when Clijsters had her first child,
she was younger.
She was much younger.
Yeah.
When Clijsters played, she play the first round of this tournament. She played the first round of this tournament.
Yeah, she got beat.
You know, she kind of, no disrespect to her. You know, you talk about women's weight, they'll want to come shoot you. But you know, she had the double chin. She had to wear a baggy shirt to cover up the gut and so forth. Again, not hating. I love Clijsters a lot. But you could tell she wasn't going to go very far. I think she played a tight first set with somebody and then got trounced, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, youth is a factor that you can't kind of erase from the narrative. Now, Dwayne and I were going back and forth about this type of thing, and he mentioned golf. He was like, well, Tiger Woods came back and played golf and won a major. You know, I inherently disagree with that because John Daly won a major or big-time tournaments when he was smoking cigarettes and chugging beer. When the camera was off of him, he'd be chugging beer and smoking cigarettes and won. So I thought that was a bad comparison. I get where he was going with it, but I didn't think the comparison fit the narrative very well. When you're running around the court for 3 hours and have to win 7 matches and you're carrying around extra weight, NY producer said it best, to the point, just got down to it, didn't elaborate, she's got to lose 20 pounds. Now, how hard is it, Carla, after 5 children, even when you had your first, when he's 18 now, how hard was it to lose weight then, much less when we had our 5th child to lose that weight now? I think our little one's 4 years old now, and I think you're still not where you like to be.
Well, my first one, I got in shape quickly because it was my first one. I didn't have trouble like Serena, you know. I mean, I think she struggled way more than what she should have struggled to lose weight. 1 was easy, 2 was easy, 3 was easy, 4 was tougher, but I got in shape quick because I play tennis every day.
Yeah.
5th one's been tough. I go up and down, up and down, up and down. Your diet has to change. The older we get, our metabolism slows down. I mean, just everything changes. Our muscles get softer. It's tougher. But Serena really doesn't have the excuse, honestly. It's just 1 child. 1 child.
Again, though.
She's got the money. I'm surprised that she hires all these fitness people. Hey, pay for the food, for my portions, what I need to eat, how I need to exercise. She should have been in shape like that quickly.
You just said it yourself. I agree with you.
Look at Azarenka.
I agree, but how old is Azarenka? Is she 31?
Yeah, but
so it's harder. You just said it yourself. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just making a point.
Mine are 5. She's 1.
I understand that, but you said after child 1 it was easy. You said after child 2 it was easy. After child 3 it was easy. After 4 you were playing every day. You still play every day now, but it's more of coaching. But what is the constant variable? Why number 5 was harder for you to come back from, and you're still working with it after 4 years? Age. It is harder with age to get back into that type of tip-top shape. It just is.
It is, but she could hire more. I'm sure that it has to do with diet as we get older. It really does.
I mean, even without diet. I mean, diet is a key factor, but as you age, everything slows down a little bit. I mean, it doesn't happen instantly, but you start losing a step.
Alyssa, I like your comment. You said Serena.
What's up, Alyssa?
She said Serena and Clijsters should have used the COVID pause to get in great shape, and Serena did, but she still needs to get in much better shape. Perhaps for her, the key is maybe not going to the gym so much and just playing matches. Having hitting partners, because you can get in great shape on the tennis court. When I find that if I'm on the tennis court hitting with people, I get in better shape than working out. So maybe she just needs to hit, because you're running side to side, forward, back, you're using every muscle.
Okay, in my own experience, I hit every single day of my life for the most part. I was born into it. I have a picture of myself too. I won't get up and flip it around, but I started the game at 2. There's a picture on the wall, and since that very day, there's not too many days in between that I haven't picked up a tennis racket and been on the court. But what happened, Carla, when I continued to play at a high level and play with the college players and still try to beat them and go for big overheads, stuff like that? What happened to me, Carla? Injuries started to pile up, and not just little ones, quite substantial ones. Broken arm that happened on a fall when my patellar tendon ruptured. But Alyssa's a player. That's Alyssa Hotfelt, right? Mm-hmm. She's a player. She gets it. I gave you a shout out earlier, so hopefully you heard that. If not,
Hitchhiker says just stop eating.
You could, but then you wouldn't have the energy to do it.
Hitchhiker, I tell myself every day, geez, Carla, just stop eating. And it's not like I eat a lot, but the reality is if you don't eat, then you're very weak. Then you can't perform and do anything. So it's a diet. Try not eating. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Your metabolism actually slows down. Maybe we need to go to like one of those, like those shows that they have on TV. go to a jungle, find food. You lose like 30 pounds, but you're a stick after that.
Yeah,
so.
Be a scavenger for like a week.
Yeah.
And just live off grubs and fish that you have to spear.
Thanks, Blind Fury. I tried, but listen, this morning my lesson canceled at 9 o'clock. I did teach at 10. I told my son, let's get up. I got up at 5. It was 7. I said, we're going to go work out. We're going to do the Spartan workout. And we did for an hour and a half. I lifted tires, 140 pounds. I didn't know I was lifting a 140-pound tire up, rolling it back. I was pulling sleighs. I said, I have to get in shape. I'm determined. And I hope Serena's determined. And clay is going to be even tougher when you're sliding.
Let's be real, though. Again, you're 41, right? No offense.
We're close in age.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you put in more work now in staying fit, in my opinion. Maybe we don't play as much.
I don't eat pasta. I don't eat flour. I don't eat potatoes. I don't eat that.
Yeah, she eats well and she works out hard. It's just that to get it off, to get the extra weight off, and your legs are still ripped.
I have no cellulite in my legs, no cellulite in my arms, but I'm not happy with my midsection. Yes.
Yeah. So and she should be, but again, after 4 children, she was back to brick house, and the 5th one, I think she even works harder, but has taken much longer to get there, and you're still not happy.
Not happy.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it is tougher.
So again, the constant variable here isn't her. It's not Serena. We're not fans. It's just that we know from experience. Me, I'm 42. She's 41. The nagging injuries start piling up. I think Serena landed on her foot wrong during that match, and it was bothering her.
It was just because she was running. Azarenka made her move. Azarenka was much slimmer. Azarenka's body is more of a cross-country runner.
Who, Azarenka?
Yeah.
Well, when in the 2013 time frame, Azarenka's body type was more like yours now. Azarenka used to be thick. Do you remember back in 2013? Yeah, she won the Australian. I think that was the last major she won is in 2013. Correct me if I'm wrong in comments. I know Michael Walker will know. But I think it's 2013. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But her body type then was like your body type now.
Yes.
So looking at Azarenka real quick, do you think would you prefer to have her body type in 2013 or would you prefer to have her body type now?
2013. I don't like her body for me, no. I need more muscles than that. I like Osaka. Osaka's a little bit more well-rounded.
Kind of a good medium.
She's a good medium, which I think that's why Osaka's going to win. She's strong on the top. She's strong on the legs. She's strong on the core. Not too muscular, but she's not too slim. So I think that's why she's going to win.
Well, we're going to talk about that as a whole segment. I'm going to get my draws, too. So grab some comments. I got to get my draws. Go.
Vika got really skinny. Lucky for us, we have fast metabolisms. Yes, tennis brothers, but you guys are like young kids. My kids can eat. My son, that's at the Air Force Academy, ever since he left, I'm telling you, the food here lasts a lot longer. He used to eat like it was 3 adults. We would make steaks, pizza, stuff. Justin and I don't touch the pizza, by the way. We eat something else. I would make food after food, and that kid would eat. So you guys can eat as much as you want. I mean, you can't compare it with kids. Who is the next comment, Justin?
I'm trying to find my draws. Are they in my notebook?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, they're right here. All right, cool. But for the tennis 3 guys, yeah, I agree. I mean, when you're young, it's easy. Exactly. My oldest son, Jonathan, who's at the Air Force Academy now. I mean, homeboy could eat like a half a pizza. Again, we don't eat that. We would get pizza. You know, the kids would just want it. We don't make a habit of that, by the way, maybe once every 2 weeks or something. But he would eat almost like the whole pizza. And he's like my height, 6'1". I'm a little heavier than him. Well, I don't know, maybe not now. But he would eat the whole damn pizza and he'd be good to go. Mm-hmm. But if I ate the whole pizza, my ass would jiggle for a month, even working out, right?
That's not true. Justin, you know what cracks me up about this man? He won't eat pizza and stuff, but he needs to eat it, okay? Because he does not gain any weight.
But I don't like pizza.
His ass jiggles. What ass?
Oh, I have no ass now.
Your ass is little.
I got a little ass?
So if you ate pizza, it would be good for you.
No, because it's just, I don't like it. I don't eat sweets either.
I was thinking of Thiem. Michael Walker.
Wait, he got a high butt?
He got a high butt.
He's got a high butt.
Terry said, I won't touch pizza or donuts. Yeah, I don't touch donuts either. Yeah.
I don't think I've eaten a donut maybe ever. I can't tell you when I've
My kids eat those Krispy Kremes. I'm like, hell no. Hell no.
She's nicer than me. She'll get him a treat every once in a while.
Hell no.
I don't believe in it. When I was born into a very strict military family. My father was a doctor in the military, and he was a tennis player his entire life. And his father, my great-grandfather, played actually My father played number one at University of California, Riverside in 1955 through 59. If he's watching, he can put it in comments. He watches these. I put out the show first, prepared, and then it crashed on us, so I just started this one out of nowhere. So he may not, at 82 years old, know how to find it. But we were raised in a family that there was only two things allowed, study and tennis. That was it. In the summers when school would be let out, it was tennis. And then when we got off the tennis court, he would have projects prepared for us at the kitchen table. So we wake up in the morning and he would have a couple of books and we would read the books and we would write essays about what we read, and we would do rough drafts and then we would prepare a final draft, etc. It wasn't until I moved from Southern California as a boy, I think somewhere around 10 or 11 years old, and then I would go back and forth and play tennis all over the place. But I didn't see my first I didn't see my first TV or television show until I was about 12 years old. Now, we would go to friends' houses and the TV would be on, but my dad would be all over it. He would make sure I wasn't around what he would call bullshit media, stuff to pollute your mind and stuff like that. So I was very controlled, so was my sister, in a good way. I'm grateful for it. But you know what the first TV show I saw was ever in my life? And Michael Walker might know this one. Have you ever heard of the show Bosom Buddies? And it was Tom Hanks and some other guy. Do you remember this show? Bosom Buddies? Have you ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of Bosom Buddies? So it was like a show in like the early 80s, mid 80s, and Tom Hanks was in it before anybody really knew who he was. And that was the first TV sitcom I had ever seen in my entire life. And that was at my grandmother's house in Alabama that we went to visit. And she had a TV on her back porch. And we saw this thing, my sister and I, we were like, oh my gosh, this is funny. And anyway, but that was how we were brought up. Tennis, study, tennis, study, tennis, study, and that was it. So in terms of food, though, the idea of junk food was preposterous. For breakfast, we had things like wheat germ and protein shakes. For lunch, it was some of the same with, some pastas and stuff like that. So junk food never was a part of my life. And then when I got into college, when I would try, some sweet or a cake or whatever, it didn't taste right with me.
He was 200 pounds at one time.
Yeah,
he was a big guy, a fat guy, actually.
Not fat.
You were big. I didn't even recognize you. I seen pictures. I'm like, that's not you.
Okay, I was like 18 years old. Went through some things. I won't get into that here. Got into some trouble, and during that time where I couldn't go anywhere or do anything, I gained like 70 pounds. So I'm about 155, 150, and 6'1", so really lean. And I got up to about 220 because I could not go anywhere, even if I wanted to, if you catch my drift. So I was stuck, and for a while, and I gained a lot of weight there. But as soon as I got out and got back on the court and got back into coaching and got back into playing, I lost that 70 pounds within probably 4 months. Literally, I went from 220 back to 150 in like 4 months.
I'm sure Serena wished she knew your recipe.
but I was only like 20 then.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Yeah. So let's go to the match of that everybody's like, Carla must be really happy.
All right. So all of you have earned the right to go off on Carla.
What a stupid ass match, by the way.
You've earned the right to.
That match was freaking boring. You know that the freaking girls hit harder than those two? Carreno Busta. Come on, man. US Open, you did this guy a favor. By kicking Djokovic out, no way Zverev would have beat Djokovic. And no way Carreno Busta with that freaking pussy game.
There's no way I don't think anybody would have beaten Djokovic.
That freaking, come on, those guys didn't even hit the ball. They were just waiting to see who was making the mistake. Zverev whining, double faulting. I'm like, what is this? It's not even tennis. That had to be the worst semifinals I had ever seen in my life.
Let's rewind a second. Everyone deserves the right to go off on Carla. Let her rip, because she has been hammering Zverev. Been hammering the guy.
Carreno Busta looked like an idiot. Here you are winning 2 sets up and you can't close the guy out? I mean, come on. Carreno Busta had no freaking power. There was nothing. It was a boring match. Look, I gave Thiem heat, but after watching Thiem play last night against Medvedev, the first set, because I was able to watch the first and second set, and then I couldn't because I just felt sick. That guy can hit the ball. That guy uses his legs, his arms, everything into the shot. And he has strategy. And he places the ball. I was impressed. I was like, oh, crap. He's going to beat Medvedev.
Before we dissect the Medvedev Thiem match, let's go back to your ass whipping. Because she deserves that shit.
Sever's a pussy. If he wins, I quit tennis. I'm sorry.
You know you won't do
There's
that.
no way Thiem's going to let that guy take away his one chance of getting a Grand Slam.
I'm not saying...
If Zverev wins the US Open, we all have to question ourselves about the men's tennis without Rafael Nadal without Federer and without Djokovic.
On the realistic side, in the first 2 sets, Zverev was off. He double faulted a couple handfuls of times. I forget his double fault count. Surely someone can say that in comments, but there was a handful of them, maybe a couple. But wasn't the first game he double faulted a couple times in the first game? Am I right or wrong? Maybe so. But he won the match. He won 6 matches at the U.S. Open. Again, I'm not a fan of him because he cries and whines a lot.
Let me see.
But you can't disrespect the fact that he's been in the top 10 in the world for how long?
He beats Anderson. Woohoo!
Okay.
Hurts Anderson. Okay. Then Nakashima. Anybody heard of Nakashima?
Of course you heard of Nakashima.
Who? I never heard of him.
Oh my God, I'm getting dumber listening to her.
Is he ranked? Do you see that he's ranked?
Does it matter?
Where's he from, Justin? Where's Nakashima from?
Is he a U.S. player?
Oh, then you must know him. I don't know him.
Then wait, okay, hold on. Did Nakashima play college at Virginia? Did he go to Virginia? Can someone call her out on the stupid shit? See if Nakashima played college at Virginia.
Who gives a shit? Is he that good?
Okay, Danielle Collins played in Virginia. She sucks too?
No, but she made it to semifinals.
Oh my God, Carla. Sometimes I just want to...
Manarino.
Manarino's a solid player.
Davidovich.
You know, I mean, run of the mill, but still.
Chorich, who always chokes.
Chorich is a beast.
And then Carreño Busta can't. Did no one teach this guy how to put a ball away?
Who?
Carreño Busta. The whole time you played on this pro tour, you're 29 years old. No one told you how to put a ball away?
Carreño Busta is the defensive backboard player, very much like me. You're Mr. Nadal that you.
There's no way he would have beaten Djokovic. I am convinced after watching that match. Zverev should get on his knees and say, "Thank you, Lord. Thank you, U.S. Open, for kicking Djokovic out. I finally made it to a final."
I'm not disagreeing with that. I agree with you there. But for you to go on and say that, he has absolutely no right to be there, I just think is a little too far out in left field.
He has no right to be there. I stand my ground. And I'm going to read your message, Ethan.
Let's go.
Ethan sent me a message, which I could not listen to the video. And he said, "Carla, take no prisoners with the Zverev fans on today's show. He did not win in a way that he would have won against Djokovic. And even I'm admitting that. Winning alone doesn't make you a champion. Your A game makes you a champion. He didn't step up. He's just kind of dinking around." By the way, basically everything I said is the quote of Ben Rothenberg on today's episode of his podcast. So I know you don't like how the writer has supposedly treated Novak in the past, but maybe you could give Ben a chance now.
I've read a lot of that gentleman's stuff. I think he writes and does a really good job. I mean, everyone has an opinion, and there's nothing wrong with the opinion, but the proof is in the pudding. If you say that Zverev, again, let me just say this straight up.
If Bartoli won a Wimbledon,
I just want to jab myself in the eye.
She sucks, right? Did you think Bartoli was great?
Oh, I didn't care for a game because she had 2 hands on both sides, and she had a super long tennis racket. What was it, a Prince?
But she won a slam, right?
But she won a major.
She won a slam.
Can you take that away from her?
No, you can't.
But Bartoli beat Serena in the final, did she not?
No, she beat your girl Lisicki.
Oh, she beat
and
Lisicki.
And then Lisicki's career was ruined.
But who beat? Was it Lisicki that beat Serena?
I have no idea.
Who did Lisicki beat to get to that final? Wasn't it Serena? Who beat Serena? It was the semifinal that year.
I don't remember.
I want to get this pen
again
and pluck my eye.
Does anyone remember Eva Majoli? Anyone out there? Do you know who she is?
I've heard the name and I don't recall seeing her name.
She won a slam, so they're just like those one-hit wonders. Ice, baby.
But look,
just one time.
Holy cow! I don't care for Zverev as a court conduct or his court conduct. I don't care for Zverev because he kind of whines a lot. But the proof is in the pudding. How long has he been in the top 10, Carla?
Man,
how long has answered the question?
So now you're defending the puppy header?
I'm not defending him because I think he needs to grow up. But I can't say that he sucks and he's a whatever word you like to say. I'm not going to say that.
Pussy?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, you say fairy?
That word's uncomfortable for me to say.
Yeah, that's better.
I would rather say fairy than that word. I don't like that word. Okay. There's few words that I don't like. And that's one of them. It doesn't roll off my tongue very well.
So the puppy hater.
The puppy hater. I get that. He hated Lindell's puppy. Let's put it that way. He whines a lot. I think he needs to soldier up a little bit. But can someone answer the damn question, how long has he been in the top 10? And if that's not important, then you must hate everyone in the top 10 and call them all shitty.
No, what I'm saying is that he got a good draw. He got a very nice draw. He beat everybody. God. He beat everybody that he should have beat, correct?
Okay, well, good for him.
Okay. Now, if we would have put him in this draw, do you think the guy would have beaten Medvedev?
Based upon how Medvedev played last night, maybe.
Anyways, do you think Thiem is going to let that guy beat him? You think Thiem's going to let the puppy hater beat him?
I don't think so. However, Carla, have you ever been out on the court and beat someone that you weren't supposed to beat? I have.
Blind Fury says Sever has not played against any top 10 player to get in the final.
That's a good stat. Who said that?
Thank you, Blind Fury.
That's a great stat. That's a great stat. Didn't know that. Didn't think about it. Chorich used to be a top 10 player, did he not? Wasn't Chorich like 9 in the world at one point? Wasn't Kevin Anderson, by the way, didn't he play him in the first round? I get he was hurt, but didn't Kevin Anderson make a Wimbledon final and another major final? I know he made a Wimbledon final and played who? Who did Kevin Anderson play in the Wimbledon final? Nadal? Federer? I forget.
I thought Kevin Anderson made a U.S. Open final.
Maybe it was the U.S. Open final. I don't know. But Kevin Anderson's been through it. Just because he was coming off an injury doesn't make Kevin Anderson, some schmuck. I mean, nonetheless.
He's hurt and older. Anyways, I'm just saying, it would be a shame if Thiem, who played, look, I got to take my words back about Master Splinter.
Who's Master Splinter?
Thiem.
I know.
The guy can hit a ball. I was watching when they had the video, which is great to see, behind him, hitting the ball. I mean, I was showing my daughter get under it, and he would, step into it and use his legs, Whereas Ever is just all arm. And then he goes and cries because Carreno Busta hit him at the net.
Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about that. I forgot.
Why you do that? It's part of tennis. I would have smashed in your face.
Let's talk about the ball thumping for a second because it needs to be talked about. When Carreno Busta went after Zverev at the net, first of all, that is a totally legal and a totally okay play. Some of you were texting me last night personally. Sorry, I had something in my eye. I think B-Dog02, by the way, it was B-Dog02, so much love if you're out there. But I think B-Dog was, telling me, man, he had both 2 passing lanes. Well, maybe so, and he did. But when I was raised as a tennis player, we were raised serve and volley. That's how we played. That was the game we played. And one of the strategies that we will implore as a serve and volleyer is to go at the person's teeth wherever you go for him. Don't worry. Don't worry about if you hit him or not. And why? Because if you're always chipping, charging, serving, and approaching the net, one thing you want to do is take away confidence and make them worry about a trajectory hitting them. So it makes them a little bit more honest. It makes them think a little bit more about their safety. Oh, let me watch out for the ball instead of aggressively going out and putting the volley down. So hitting someone is very, very, very much okay. Now, after he went at him, Zverev, it was the side, I think, that hit him.
Yeah, with Carrena's Busta, really hard shot. If it was Thiem, I would understand him.
So Zverev pulls up and whined, hey, man, why'd you hit me? And Busta's like, you're at the net. I'm legal. And I totally agree with that. When I play Carla, she's a girl, I don't care if she's a girl. I don't care if she's the mother of my 5 kids. When we play, it's a dogfight. I blew out my patellar tendon playing her ass. So if she comes to the net, Carla, how many times do I go at your head? Often? Yeah. Often? I mean, you're her own brother, by the way. That's a dominant tennis player. How many times, Carla, have I watched you and your brother play one another? And how many times have you walked away with a big round bruise on your body? How many, Carla?
Many.
We were at the Mobile Tennis Center one day. You guys were playing a match, and you came to the net, and he absolutely pounded you with the ball and laughed about it. That's tennis. That's the deal.
Oh, your little pushy shot hit me, and I threw myself on the ground. Ooh, I'm Zverev.
His shot was quite aggressive, but nonetheless,
it wasn't that hard.
Nonetheless, it was a legal play. Yeah, he smoked that ball. He smoked it.
Did you guys see smoke coming out of that ball?
Yeah, I saw smoke coming off that ball. But nonetheless, but nonetheless,
I was laughing. I said you should have done it.
But nonetheless, for him to pull up and go, oh, you know what, you hit me, and I would have said the same shit. PCB said, I would have said, man, you're at the net. That's it.
No, he said, what you want me to do?
What you want me to do? You're at the net. Yeah. Totally legal play. Totally cool. Irrelevant discussion. But that's just the way the ball rolls. That's legal. So
it was half the pace of Thiem's shot. Thank you, Team Groves. It wasn't that bad. Exactly. Can you imagine Thiem hitting him with that shot? He would have broken his rib if it was Thiem hitting that shot.
Man, there's no tennis ball on earth that's going to break your rib,
Man, have
Carla.
you guys seen? Look, again, Master Splinter, he can hit. I mean, that guy really rips the ball, and it's just not rip. It's like to the line. Pa! It's to the line. Pa! I mean, he got Medvedev. Medvedev hits flat. He got Medvedev side to side. And even when you thought Thiem was like out of the point, he would hit it back hard. That guy uses his ass and his legs really good.
I've had our 16-year-old son is a really good tennis player. He had an unfortunate loss at a tournament a little while ago, but pretty much wins every tournament he plays. Pretty much. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
I was feeding him balls one day right in front of him, kind of the underhand toss, and he was stepping into forehand. So I was like, come on, hit the ball. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Pushing him. Trying to piss him off. Trying to get under his skin. Come on, man. You can hit better than that. And he cranked one, and it came right off the racket and hit me right in the face. I mean, right square in the nose. Bow! And did I get my face broken, Carla? So you can't tell me.
I don't have a crush.
And that was point blank range. Like
hopefully it's not lagging. Okay, no. I don't have a crush. I don't like Thiem in that way at all. I'm just saying the guy uses his legs. I was watching a tennis video from a coach. And he's saying, the legs are very important and your glutes, all of that's important. He demonstrates why he can hit so hard because he uses that. Whereas Zverev, when he hits the shot, he's kind of standing up straight. You've got to get down.
Yeah, there's a saying in coaching, and this is age old. There's nothing new about this, but you want to stay down through your shots, and you don't want to have your feet too terribly close together. You want to be able to transfer momentum off the back foot into the front foot. And this is why we always give Sakari a hard time, or used to. She's gotten better. This is why we were giving Serena Williams a hard time this entire tournament, because she wasn't able to separate herself latitudinally and longitudinally to give herself space and also move the feet quick enough, especially later on in the set, to transfer weight from the back foot to the front foot. And then when she would hit off the back foot, she was left out of position. And then especially in the Azarenka match, as the match progressed, Azarenka was able to start moving her left to right, left to right. And then when she got tired, she wasn't able to split in time to recover. And Serena knew this. You could see it in her face. She knew she was in a bad position. You could see it. The legs are important to give yourself a nice athletic posture, at least like you're riding a surfboard or a skateboard, something balanced, something athletic, some way you can kind of transfer energy, be like a running back in football. You want to be able to split and move. So if your legs are too close together or your legs are failing you, you will find yourself hitting off the back foot. And when you do so, you are in deep, deep, deep shit.
Let me tell you something. Okay, so these three guys, Djokovic and Nadal, Federer, they're not in it. The one that deserves it the most is Thiem.
And he'll win.
Thiem's beating these guys. Carteri, for you to say, I hope Thiem loses. I'm not his biggest fan. But damn, you want someone like Zverev to win a Grand Slam?
Well, all right.
Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
Hey, Carteri. Look, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Carla bet all of you that she would dress up like Zverev if he won.
I don't think I'm that girly enough to dress up like him.
I've already planned the outfit for Carla to wear.
I'm not that girly.
If Zverev wins, I'm gonna get her like a headband, and then I have a Zverev shirt that we made.
I don't like Nazis. Oh, how is Thiem a Nazi? Just because he's Austrian?
Wait a minute, that would be German though. I don't think the Nazis were Austrian.
Well, he says, I don't like Nazis. I hope Thiem loses. Well, isn't Zverev German?
Yeah,
how does that make sense, Carteri?
I think that would be backwards, wouldn't it be? Schwarzenegger is the Austrian. Put that cookie down. Put that cookie down. Yeah, that's backwards, I think.
Let me tell you something. Osaka would give a better match to Thiem than Zverev will.
No. You're way. That's a girl. There's a big difference.
She hits harder than him.
There's a big difference.
Are you telling me Osaka doesn't hit harder than Zverev?
Yes, you're wrong. You're definitely wrong. Someone look up average forehand speed off both. The man's game is much. Zverev would beat Osaka 2-2. Are you freaking serious about that?
Yeah.
You are insane. You are freaking smoking some shit. Are you serious?
Oh God.
I think Kevin Anderson would destroy Osaka.
Wait a minute.
I think every man in the man's draw would destroy Osaka.
Man, anybody could destroy it.
Anyways,
going back to your point, Carteri. Again, you want Thiem to lose because you hate Nazis?
Anyway.
That's like saying, I don't want a Cuban to win because he's for Castro. Come on, man.
I mean, it's just a figure of speech. Who cares? But I do think that's backwards. Zverev is the German, so he would be that.
Yeah.
And then the Austrian would be the one running for the hills, right? Like in The Sound of Music, Am I right? Remember the movie Sound of Music? Weren't the Austrians trying to run into the hills and then the Germans were like coming in? Anyway. That was
James Stevens says Serena, her prime, can beat Zverev.
I still don't think so. I still don't think so. I mean,
he double faults. I heard yesterday Zverev, there was commentating about his wrist, that he came around it too quick is the reason why he double faults.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second so they know what you're talking about. We have one student, by the way, that I can't get this problem out of, and I'm really trying really hard. It's like consumes my day. But when we serve, we pronate as we meet the ball. So I can't do it with this hand, but I'll do it with my left. But we want to go up. We want to give the ball lifts. So you don't want to go up there and slap the ball down. So you don't want to over-pronate. So you're trying to give the ball a lift and catch that kind of outside of the ball. And as you grab it, then pronate over. So if your angle of your arm isn't going up at 45 degrees or something. So if our arm is going too straight up or too far out wide, we want it to kind of 45 degree out, catch the end of the ball, and then pronate it over. The last thing we want.
Your arm.
That's my elbow.
Yeah, that's the next thing you need.
Yeah, but the last thing we want to do is two things. We don't want to curl the wrist too much. You know, you can switch the grip to Eastern and you can curl the wrist under a little bit, but if you do too much with the wrist, curl it too far under, when you pronate, you either over pronate or under pronate or hit the ball flat or smack it into the net or you smack the ball long. Zverev has this issue of the racket going off at too much or too little of an angle, and then when he pronates, he tends to overdo it or underdo it. So he tends to double fault a lot. I think even the commentators were mentioning this last night. We've talked about this for 2 years. So Zverev does have a serving issue, and it's just a bad habit. His habit is in the wrist, and his habit is his ability to not pronate at the right point in time. Can it be corrected? Yes, but he needs to serve and serve and serve and serve and serve and pretty much continue to do so with the coach continuously until it becomes muscle memory because it's hurting him.
Yeah, it's hurting him big time. Because a big guy like that should have a big serve.
And he does have a big serve.
His serve percentage was low, though.
He does, and it is. And when he gets it in, it's deadly, but it's inconsistent.
It's very inconsistent.
Because of wrist to handle to arm angle as he goes to pronate. It's just not quite where it should be, and it causes him issues. How long ago did he double fault the whole match away, basically? But the last tournament or something? So he has an inherent issue there, but nonetheless, he's in the U.S. Open final, so you really can't say much. I mean, Carla, he's there, and that's it.
Unfortunately.
All right, next, let's talk about the Thiem-Medvedev match. Thiem, if you've all kind of noticed, has been using the slice a lot more than he ever has.
And it's worked. It's worked because it's helped him get out of trouble.
And why is it working? It's working because what happens, Carla, when I play? If I play Carla and I try to power hit with her from the baseline, what happens, Carla? What happens?
Oh, you'll lose.
I'll lose. If I use the slice with her, then I have a very good chance of winning. Why? Because it forces your opponent to create their own power. Medvedev was facing the slice, and I mentioned on the last show that I thought that Medvedev would get the slice and finally take it up the line, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what I didn't think about is Medvedev having to create his own power, and doing so, Medvedev's a pace player. He likes pace, and he's good at defending against pace and giving that pace back. But when you're forced to use your own power, slice coming at you, and now instead of using their pace and sticking your racket out and being compact and a nice compact stroke, now you're having to take more of a wind up and really throttle the ball. So if you're doing that and someone's slicing it to you and you can't hit your spots, you're in trouble. So how many times early on in that match, especially in the first set, Thiem would throw the slice, and Medvedev would finally be like, all right, I've had enough of this shit. I'm going to take it up the line.
He would go for it too much and it would sail out.
And what would happen when he would take it up the line? It would go out. Yeah. Why would it go out? Because he was having to create his own power, and he could not hit his spots, and it got to him, especially in the first set.
I'm surprised his drop shots were sucky, too.
Yeah.
Medvedev's drop shots were bad.
The last two sets, Medvedev had plenty of chances, especially when Thiem had some aggravation to his foot. He had some sneaker issues. Medvedev had chances in the second and third sets to capitalize, especially in the third set. Wasn't Medvedev up something like 4-1 in the tiebreaker? And wasn't he up something like 4-1 in the third set and up like a break or even 2 breaks if I'm wrong, and still couldn't capitalize? Why? Because the slice drove him nuts. He tried to create his own power, and he couldn't hit his spots. And then c'est la vie. It just happened. Thiem knew it and capitalized on it. That's the tail of the tail.
All right, Victor says, how do you think Thiem will do at the French if he wins the U.S. Open?
Well.
What? Yeah.
I think he'll do well.
Yeah, he'll do well.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a different tale with Nadal there. It's going to be a different tale, I think, with Wawrinka there. Any of these Spaniard grinders are going to give him a battle. There's a lot of really good players that...
Who's playing Rome, guys? I see a lot of you guys. Is the draw out for Rome?
Probably.
I hope Djokovic as well. I want him to get his vengeance too.
Any thoughts from? I don't know any other thing you can debate about the Thiem-Medvedev match.
He just played excellent.
Yeah,
his slice was unbelievable. If you watch it from the back, again, the view that they had when he sliced, it would just barely go over the net. And then Medvedev would try to slice back, but his slice was just better. It would kept him deep, where Medvedev had trouble coming forward.
He had trouble creating his own power and hitting the spots he needed to hit. I don't know a better way to say it. I mean, please let me know if you disagree with that. But Medvedev was doomed from the get-go when he realized that his strategy that he had...
Oh, I'm rooting for Nadal, of course. Of course, Michael Walker, I want him to win the French Open. No doubt about that. Don't get me wrong. I do. Hell yeah, I want him. But if Nadal were to lose somebody else, my next choice would be Djokovic.
Agree.
But I'm rooting for Nadal 100%.
I think one would have to be really what's the word for it? Incompassionate or non-compassionate. If you didn't want Djokovic to win the French, he just got the ultimate hose.
I want him
he just
to
got
do well.
hosed at the U.S. Open.
He did. I mean, like I said, Zverev needs to go and buy this guy some flowers or a trip or something. You say thank you for throwing that ball by accident. Thanks to you, I'm in this final.
Yeah, I mean, I think from and maybe Djokovic haters will disagree. But again, I mean, the U.S. Open thing was a catastrophe. We won't go back into that. But that was really a shit sandwich with old-ass mayonnaise on it and freaking stinky-ass mustard. But he got hosed. So I really hope Djokovic makes some big noise at the French Open because, gee whiz, man, he got really shafted at that tournament. Really did. So I'm going to say go Novak for this tournament. I don't want Nadal to win his 743rd French Open. I'm just not interested in it.
That's too bad for you.
I don't care.
Too bad.
I mean, I've seen enough butt picking to freaking last 7 generations.
Well,
I don't want to see him pick his ass
Maybe he should
anymore.
ask Thiem, what do you do? Because he's got a big ass too. I should ask him what kind of underwear you wear.
Can I ask everyone?
Maybe they should ask him.
Can I ask everyone a question? So we have to wear a mask and all this stuff for the pandemic, respectively. Now, shouldn't Nadal wear like a glove or something? Because he's always in his ass. I mean, so you got a mask on to cover up stuff, but what about your stank finger? What do you do about the stinky finger?
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of the point penalty that Medvedev got for crossing the net?
It's a rule, unfortunately.
Even though he said my server's out.
It looked that was you have to. I've been through the U.S.
He said, "I'm so sorry. He said, "Sorry. I'm sorry."
It's a rule.
I was laughing.
It's in the rules handbook. I've been through the course, took the test, so forth. It's in the book, in the friend of court book.
Zverev needs to thank his lucky pennies, Carteri.
Lucky who?
Carteri says Thiem needs to thank his lucky pennies that Djokovic was defaulted. So does Zverev.
They all do. Everyone needs to thank their lucky pennies because that's the truth. But again, it's not anybody's fault.
It's not their fault.
It happened. Whether it was right or wrong, we've talked about that. He's in the final. He's been top 10 in the world for a while. We've already talked about this. And he's there. So we just have to deal with it. But I don't know anything more to say about the Thiem Medvedev match except the slice was working very well, and it has been for a while now. And when these big hitting guys have to create their own power, these guys are used to cranking the ball, but off of more pace coming from the other side. So he didn't have that a lot, and then when he had to hit it all on his own and still try to create that same power, he just couldn't land it in the court.
Yeah.
And that's the tail of the tape. That's it. And Thiem knew it, and he just stuck with it. Thiem just stuck with the slice.
Yeah, he hates Nadal. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't like Nadal a lot. And again, it's not that I don't like him. Again, I know a lot of you say I'm a Federer hater because I say he won't win another major, but that's complete opposite of the truth. But I didn't like him because he started to beat Federer. But once I realized how much he stuck his finger in his butt, I just couldn't handle it anymore. I just couldn't. He needs to put a plug in that thing or get some boxer shorts or something.
I was about to say a nasty comment, but I'm not.
All right, let's look at the odds for the men's final. The Vegas betting odds. Vegas betting odds are heavily favored for Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem is minus 400, which means if I want to win $100, if I go to a casino or a sports bookie or something like that, and I say, hey man, I want to bet $100 on Dominic Thiem, I gotta put up $400 to win the 100. So if I want to win $100, I have to bet 400. So if I want to win, bet 100. If I lose 400. That's how heavy the favoritism is. Zverev is plus 325 though. So if I go to a bookie and I say, hey man, I want to put $100 on Zverev to win, he may laugh at me, but he'll gladly take the bet. But if I win that bet, I get $325 in return. So that's a big payday. So I think if I'm a bettor and I just want to go all out and risk some shit, I think I would go ahead and drop the 100 simply to risk the big, or just to try to win that big payday and just lose the 100. I don't think I'd want to bet 400 though and risk losing 400 to win one. What bet would you take? Which action would you take? Would you drop the 4 and be sure you'd get that 400 back and plus 1, or would you put the 100 in order to maybe get back your 100 and 325? Where would you go?
I just bet on Thiem because I can't stand Zverev.
So you're going to put $400 up. You're so confident you'd say, here you go, I'm giving you $400 bills, and if I win, you're giving me back 500. You would do that?
Yeah.
I think I would say, look, I don't like betting. I lose everything anyway. I'll go ahead and give you the bill, and then hopefully I get back 325. But if not, I'll cut my losses. What do you think? What do you think? All right, which one are you taking? The plus 325 or the minus 4? The tough call. Who you got?
I already told you.
Who you got? I'm going plus 325. All right, women's finals thoughts.
I bet 800 on Thiem, says Stefan.
Okay, so if you bet 800, on Thiem, you would put up $3,200 to win 800. So you'd have to drop the bookie off $3,200. You'd get back your $3,200 if you won plus 8. That's a big bet.
That's how sure we are, right, Stefan?
Whew. Stephanie Zivich is out there?
Yeah.
What's up, bro? What's up, Stephanie? Let's go. Man, I'm gonna take the 325.
Wildlife says I'd bet on Zverev.
Yeah.
That way it would make me feel better if Thiem loses.
Yeah, I'm taking the plus 325 on that. More than likely he'll lose, but I'd rather lose that than 3,200. Like, who said that? Who said the 32? Stefan. Risky bet, bro.
I take Thiem grows.
Women's
Thiem all the way, Stefan says. Thiem all the way, yeah.
Women's finals odds and thoughts on the women's match.
That sucks. I'm gonna miss it. You sure you don't want to teach a lesson for me?
I think it might rain before that lesson.
I don't think so.
Who is the lesson, Gabe? I'll probably go anyway. With the broken arm, it just hurts out there. Women's odds and final thoughts on the match. Naomi Osaka is a marginal favorite, nothing huge. She's minus 184. So if I want to win $184, if I want to win $100, I gotta give the bookie 184 to get back my money. If Azarenka, if you want to win $100 on her, you don't have to bet that much. She's plus 148. So if I bet 100 on Azarenka, hey, I'm getting 148 back. If I want to win $100 on Osaka, I got to put up 184. Who you got?
That's a tough one. I don't bet on that one.
I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go ahead and risk the 184 to win 100 on Osaka. I'm fairly confident, as we've talked about, the motherhood body. If it was 2013 Azarenka, I think I would look more closely at it. Who is better, 2013 Azarenka or right now Osaka? Who's better? What's your thoughts? Are you paying attention?
Yes. I already told you my thoughts on this. You've asked me
No,
this before.
my question was, who would you rather have on a team? 2013 Azarenka or the current Osaka?
The current Osaka still.
I don't know. Azarenka was a firecracker then. She just had Serena Williams in her way. I think.
But Osaka's serve is solid. You have to look at her serve. It's very solid. Her strokes are very sound and solid.
Great.
Yeah, and she doesn't screech. So
yeah, I'm gonna put the money on Osaka.
I want Azarenka to win. Don't get me. My heart is with Azarenka, but I think Osaka will beat her.
All right. So what does Osaka have to do to win this match? She just has to play her game and just play Osaka. And does she have to
serve hard because Azarenka loves returning. Serve down the tee like she's been doing because Azarenka likes that forehand to put in the corner. End the points quicker. We know Azarenka gets momentum as more balls start coming back and forth. She'll end the points quicker.
What do you guys think Azarenka or Osaka has to do to win the match? I'll give you my thoughts. Has anyone given any ideas? I'll tell you mine.
Naomi Osaka wins in 3. Vika was a beast in 2013. I'll go with Osaka, but it will be a close match. That's Michael Walker. Team Gross, Osaka.
Who'd Michael Walker take?
Osaka.
Mike, are you going to be on Cam's show later?
David Vulic.
I'll catch you there,
Naomi. Alyssa said Osaka's very mentally tough. Jean, TM4, Vika 3.
Here's my thoughts. We all know that now, whether it's a psychological thing or not, we know Osaka's had some tape on that thigh, and maybe it's just one of those rope-a-dope things. Maybe it's just a ploy to let people assume that she's hurt and not. But she withdrew from Cincinnati when she was supposed to play her not long ago. Was that what happened? Didn't she pull out of a final when she was supposed to play Azarenka Osaka because of a hamstring? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah. Who's here?
I don't know.
Somebody's here. Chris!
You gotta go to work, bro. Anyway, son's work people are here. We put these kids to work. Oh, shit. Chris, you gotta handle that dog, bro. Hold on, let me get this dog.
Don't worry about the dog. That's no. Shut up. They're gonna... Poor dog.
Come here, girl. Let's go. Thank you, bro. Go ahead. Go.
He's got to go to work. He does some delivery. They deliver food in the island for all the vacationers. Whose music is worse, Osaka's boyfriend or Red Food? Osaka's boyfriend. No, come on, you're gonna hurt her.
No, she's all right. Here's the Dodgy. My girl right here. My girl. All right, girl, let's go. All right, back to the Azarenka match. All right, am I in the picture? Because my chair just got rolled out.
I don't know. We're so far behind, so.
What do you mean we're so far behind?
You know what I mean? Like you were just there, so now I'm looking at you still over there.
All right.
See, there's a dog. That's how far behind.
Oh, look at Katana. Let's go. I named her Katana.
Keep the dog away from Zevra. Yeah, he's a puppy hater.
He's a puppy hater.
So you know what I'm gonna do? Good idea, Team Grove. As tomorrow I'm gonna watch the match, right? I'm gonna make sure Katana's watching that match with me. You know when they do the fan celebration, I'm like gonna take a picture with her when Thiem wins, and I'm gonna go like this with the puppy.
Yeah, I named her Katana because there used to be a video game back in the day, like on original Sega Genesis or something. It was Mortal Kombat, and the only person I could ever beat anybody with was this girl Katana, and she would throw these like fans at you, and then I could hit these like up, down, down something, and she would drop out of the sky and kick you in the head. So I named her Katana. All right, now what do I think Azarenka has to do to beat or have a chance to beat Osaka? Azarenka is really good at opening up the court. There was a match not long ago where we looked at the stats. I didn't come up with these. It was on television. I mean, I probably wouldn't even know this if I hadn't saw it, so I won't take credit for that. But there were some really good stats that we coach all of our students, and this is nothing new, but 93% of the balls that Azarenka hit in this one match, and I forgot who she was playing, were well in the corners, backhand, forehand side. Only 7% of her balls were in the middle of the court. So I'm assuming, and we know Azarenka is a polished player, she's well coached. I'm assuming that Azarenka's tactic is going to be to take the ball early, number one, because I said Azarenka. Yeah, Azarenka's tactic is going to be to catch the ball early. Well, number one, that's important because Osaka's a big ball striker. If she doesn't catch the ball early, the ball's going to get beside her. So I think Azarenka is going to play more inside. I think I would have her play closer to the baseline instead of Nadal-like or Medvedev-like 27 feet behind the baseline. Well, Thiem last night was playing like 20 feet behind the baseline as well.
Lars said make Osaka run.
Exactly. Who said that?
Lars Anderson.
Great, absolutely great, Lars. You said it best. If I can open up the court and move her left to right and keep her out of X patterns, I don't want Osaka moving in an X. I don't want her coming in and cutting the ball off. I want to hit deep. I want to give the ball height. I want to give the ball a lot of spin. I don't want to hit missiles, and I damn sure don't want to hit the ball short. I want to hit the ball high and into the corners. I want to give the ball extra spin, and I want to push her back so she can hit off the back foot, so she can't hit the damn cannons, and then I can come in behind her short ball and put the ball away. So I'm hoping if Azarenka wants to win, she's hitting with heavy topspin as best she can. She's not really a super big topspin player, but she needs to give the ball some extra spin. She needs to work the corners left to right, left to right, left to right, and then maybe go behind her and not necessarily try to take the open court. Go behind her, keep her honest, keep her back, and then move in on the short ball. Number two, why? Because she's got a strapped up hip. If that is the case, and it is gimpy at all, I want her moving latitudinally. I don't want her cutting off. I don't want her moving in an X. If she's moving in an X, she is going to get trounced, I think, because of number one, Osaka's not going to give up too many service games. Azarenka needs to look at tiebreakers. She needs to understand that there may not be many breaks. She needs to hold serve. So the other day, Azarenka had a really rough time in the first set. What was Azarenka's first serve percentage when she played Serena in the first set? Abhorrent. It was like 38%.
Yeah.
If she serves at 38% in this match, it will be over in less than an hour. It will be. If she can stop worrying about ace count, Azarenka, not worrying about the big first serve at all, and simply think about her spots on serve. Take it wide to the backhand and the ad court. Take it up the tee and the deuce court. Keep her honest with the backhand on the serve side, giving her the Nadal-esque type of serve. Give it 6 feet over the net clearance, have it drop in the corner. Give it 6 feet over the net, have it drop in the or up the tee on this side. Keep her honest, keep her on the backhand side. When she gets the return, immediately start opening up the court. Run her left, run her right, run her left, run her right, and I think she has a chance. But if she serves it in the 30%, Osaka's not going to let her back in as Serena did. Agree?
Agree. Osaka's going to be tougher, like I said.
Yeah, Osaka's going to be a tough role. I do think it will be a good final, though.
Yeah, it will be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to record. Nah, I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to look at the score. I can't.
I mean, again, I think it might rain.
I don't think so. I've looked at the radar. It looks good.
All right, well, we'll see.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so I think that's it. Oh, yeah, no. I have something real quick. Any comments, by the way? If anyone, I wrote this here. This is your deal. We talk this anyway if my phone's not right there. Does anyone have anything you want us to read? And we'll pause here for a second. If you have anything you want to say, any comment, Carla will read it. And we'll take a minute here while I get my fantasy team stuff, because I'm going to basically tell all of you that played the fantasy stuff on this video who's still alive and how many points you got left, or how many points you have and what players you have left. Anybody have anything that you want to say?
Alyssa says that Azarenka talks about her personal growth. She seems very humble. I hope she stays in this house for several more years. Yeah.
I agree, Alyssa. She Azarenka had a press conference or a post-match interview after, I think it was 2 matches ago, and I really love what she said, and you being a player, you can understand this. She said something along the lines of, I'll stay out here all night and play. I'll stay out here all day and play. I don't give a shit. Basically, she didn't say shit, obviously. I don't give a shit what people think about me. I've been through enough. I've had my child. I've been through drama. I'm not here to make necessarily fans or anything. I'm here to play, and I'll play all night if I have to, and I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I think we shared passion with that comment because we feel the same way about here. You know, what you see is what you get, and that's it. So I really felt that was a really good thing to say. Mm-hmm. I think in my heart, I would like Azarenka to win, just because, again, I have 5 children, and I couldn't imagine if I was in a legal battle to try to keep one of them, and I know she went through that. It's been since 2013 since she won her last major. I guess that's right, because no one said anything before. So she hasn't won a major in 7 years. She's been through the thick of it. I do worry about her being a little too thin, but we'll see what happens. I'm pulling for Azarenka, but I don't think that will happen. But I hope that she wins for her own benefit, so she can look at that ex-boyfriend or husband or whatever it was and be like, see, get some. I won and I persevered. So I'm hoping that happens. All right? Anybody else have anything?
No, go ahead.
No? All right, if anyone has anything, please mention it while I'm reading these off, and she will read it. Don't forget about that. Fantasy team results. By the way, this is the tightest fantasy team competition that we've ever had. I spent about an hour and a half this morning making sure I got it right. I did it 3 times over. I've never had this many points, and especially there's 5 people that, based upon the 2 finals, still have the potential to win. Remember, there will be 2 winners. And then Ivor, the owner of Ytex, will I already have the stuff, but we'll be giving out the same things to the top 2 winners, whether it's T-shirts. We used to have 5K tennis shirts, but everybody wanted those, and we gave them out, and I just haven't gotten any more. But I'll give out whether you want 2 sets of strings, a T-shirt, and a hat. We do have some Australian Open gear from the Australian Open. A friend of hers went last year and brought us back a bunch of stuff. So we have some of that. I'll do a separate video and show you all the prizes. But we got shirts, we got jackets, we got strings, and so forth. And I'll do a separate video for that. The last 5 people that have a mathematical chance at winning, and there will be 2 winners. In first place right now is Stefan Nizovic. What's up, bro? Always heavy hitting. Stefan Nizovic has 75 points. 75 points, but only has Azarenka left. So the most he can finish with is either 75 if she loses or 77 if she wins. And second place, who has won this numerous times, he's really good, is Kasper, a.k.a. Dedzivil. He's in Poland. Love you a lot, bro. We talk with him a lot. He's a good player as well, a really good player, by the way. He has 74 points. He has 3 players left. He has Osaka, he has Azarenka, and he has Thiem. So mathematically, he can finish with either 75 to 77 points. So watch out for him. He's very much in it, and it could either win it or maybe not. In third place is Kenneth Chow. Kenneth Chow has 73 points. He has Azarenka and Osaka left. No men, he's done there. So he has a maximum or minimum finishing of 74 points or 75 points. Tied for 4th place are Srđan Jovanovic and Milena Brzezinska. I think they're both in Serbia. They both have 72 points. Srđan Jovanovic has Osaka and Azarenka left, so he can finish with either 73 or 74 points. And Milena Brzezinska at 72 points has only Azarenka. So if she wins, she could finish with 74 points. So it is, I mean, it's anybody's game between these 5 people, okay? And then afterwards, talk to us personally. We'll get you a box, ship it to wherever you are. We've shipped to Poland. We've shipped to New York. We've shipped to London. We've shipped everywhere, so that's not a problem. All right, anybody have anything else to say?
Nope.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Let's go.